Hi, my name is Clef. I am a aspiring game developer, and today is day 5 of my dev journal. It is June 23rd around 4 o'clock. I am recording this video as a long form version of my usual devlog. This was requested to me in one of my YouTube comments, and I agree with it. They stated that I should actually show off what I worked on for the day, and I feel like that makes sense. I had that idea when I started making the devlogs, but I felt it would be awkward trying to just kind of show it on my phone, which is how I was recording the face-to-face devlogs. And so in turn, I downloaded OBS and got that working for this. Now, obviously, as you can see, I have the actual game that I worked on today. It doesn't have anything special, nor is it going to get published because all of this work is all of this work admittedly is kind of just given to you, but I do still value what I've learned from it because while yes, they do provide the code that they provide the code in the courses, but obviously you have to go look at the code, read it, understand it, and then copy it over to your IED that you're using. But still, it's good to use and good to learn. Now, obviously, this is prototype 2. That's just how they state it. And pretty much the whole point of it is that you are this character right here. This is your player. You send a variety of different animals. For me, I just chose like 3 separate dogs. And you shoot food at them to make them not get past you. Here is a simple demonstration of it. Obviously, right to left, the dog moving by, and I just spam it. You can probably see it in the top easier in the scene view instead of the game view because I do have this game view to be quite very much compressed. But I obviously probably not a lot of demonstration, but I do hope that you got the basic gist of it. Um, so yeah, that is the overall end goal of what happened. All of this was very simple to understand. I liked it. And then here is also the coding aspects of it. Let me go into here. Spawn Manager. This is the item of which that would go around actually spawning the dogs. Yeah, obviously, as it says, randomly generate animal index and spawn position. So what that means is that going to here on the spawn manager, this is the animal prefabs, which would be the animal index stated here for the goblet for the no, not here. Yes, here. This right here. The animal index being random range 0. Pretty much, sorry, just this animal index. It is taking this animal prefabs that I have, creating an index, and then utilizing these 3 prefabs that I already have, being dog bulldog, dog German shepherd, and then dog ridgeback. And it will take that, choose one of the 3 from the index, and then chooses a random X coordinate for the dogs to spawn. They all share the same Z coordinate because they need to come down at they all come down at the same speed, so they need to all spawn at the same place. You can obviously change that. I didn't because admittedly random variables scare me at the moment. So that is the spawn. That is how the dogs spawn. Secondarily, detect collision. As you saw when I was shooting shooting the food object at the dogs, when the 2 collided, they would both despawn. That is what this is. Specifically, this right here. When one or the other's colliders detect each other, they will effectively destroy each other, causing them to despawn. Here we go. Like this, the dog bulldog. This box collider right here is effectively becomes the hitbox. And same thing right here. Where is it? Oh crap, do I not have No, wait, yeah, mesh. Wait, no. Huh? Oh, right. No, I am stupid. Sorry, as you can clearly see that I'm still figuring this out. So, with the box collider, it gets its own hitbox. And then in turn with the food, yep, okay. Huh. Interesting. I thought hold on. Override okay. Apologies. I shouldn't be clicking on the stuff in the hierarchy. I should actually be clicking on the stuff in the actual project. But yes. So here, this is actually I was about to start giving y'all wrong information. I apologize for that. Here, yes. So, box collider, effectively its hitbox, and then the rigid body allowing it to actually interact with the other items. And because of this, only the projectile here, the food pizza, requires the rigid body. The dogs, in the terms of it, do not require a rigid body, and I accidentally opened that. The dogs themselves don't require a rigid body as long as they have a box collider and the as long as a rigid body is involved, that is what causes the collision to happen. Um so yes, obviously since the projectile is going to be interacting with everything and the dogs are separate, that's why the projectile got the rigid body and not the dogs. But that is how that happens. Secondarily, you probably also saw this set of code right here. This is effectively the game over mechanic. So once the dogs reach the lower bound of a -10, which is set behind the player, effectively, that results in the player's loss. And results in the debug window stating game over, as you see right here in this bottom left-hand corner. Third is this destroy out of bounds. It's very similar code to the last one. However, this causes the items to despawn. So the pizza, for example, when shot upward, like me spamming it here, granted, you probably cannot see it. Let me. I forgot that it does that. Okay. I think it's that. Oh, Lord. Sorry. Technical difficulties because I am still noob to this. As you can probably see, let me start this. Spanning the pizza, it is very short, but me still, as you can see, around up here, it's stopped spawning. Or probably a better example is if I look behind me, you see the dogs despawning just off screen behind the player. Or, it's kind of on screen. It's kind of on screen looking at the game view. But pretty much there is a border is set up in a way. That border being them having the specific value of either 30 for the projectile or -10 for the pizza. Sorry, no. 30 for the projectile, -10 for any of the animals. And obviously, this actually can be changed if you mess with those float values. So if it was 30, so it being 30, changing it to 40. If I'm right, that value specifically. Let me see. Press play, interact with the food. I would think. Probably set with the food right there. Actually, what? It's moving along. Oh no, it is moving along the z-axis. That's what it is. It's pretty much set it with the z-axis on this. Yeah. I'll stop this now. So, there's that. Move forwards. This is just the base movement. It is set specifically in player controller that when I press space, the projectile will move forward. And actually, you know what? The projectile will move forward. However, there is no such trigger for the animals, for the dogs, which, if I am correct, is set here in Spawn Manager. So the second the dogs spawn in, they will move forward automatically, while vice versa, in the pizza will spawn in and move forward as well. This also handles players' left to right movement. And in order to ensure that the player does not go off the screen, a similar setup has been put in place to where the player has inset boundaries, to where the player is not able to move automatically all the way off to the left or all the way off to the right, and that is set on the x-axis. Sorry if I stated the y-axis. It would not be the y-axis. The y-axis would make him move up and down, and that would end up making him go under the map. So, yeah. That is all I've done. That is pretty much all that I have done today. This work, while admittedly would be seen as going around being, oh, you're just copying code over. Yes, in practice, that is pretty much what it is. However, I also I'm trying my damnedest to understand what each bit of code does, because I have never dealt with C# in the past, or just coding in general, actually. So I'm doing that to ensure that I understand what I'm doing when I am needing to apply these skills when I'm needing to apply this language that I've learned into my game. And that is pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Apologies for a lot of my, how do I put this? A lot of my very bad public speaking. I've never been good at it. I'm working on it, obviously, with these. And in the future, these will not be as filled with... I will improve over time with producing these and actually kind of projecting myself out there. So again, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Please, if you have any questions, leave a comment and subscribe if you wish to continue to see my journey in this.